Well, let's get on to your very interesting stock picks for today, because you're both going into the food producers. We do have a question on AVI, but that is Ricus' stock pick. But Roy, you are going for Premier, which was quite interesting because we did see it surging earlier on in the day, but it actually ended off in the red. And I don't know if that's a function of it being the acquirer. So why are you choosing Premier today?
So again, just going through the profile of your investor who said in 3 years' time. So Premier, since listing, has delivered pretty much on everything they've said. They've got this huge bakery that's coming through, low cost, reasonable margins. Wherever they are now number one, and they're entering into the biggest market in the country. They're going to take on Tigers, and it's going to be an epic battle, but they seem to be doing well. They've been growing earnings 20% each year by reducing their costs, reducing their debts, and just basically running a very tight ship. Now, when you look at that profile and when you speak to them, it was clear that could continue for another 2 or 3 years. But now if you add Rhodes in, Rhodes has a fantastic prepared meals business that's quite significant in Woolworths' life. And all those meals that you see in Woolworths come from Rhodes. So that's a business that's cleaned out its debt. Its margins are at 10%. The management has kept a very tight ship there and grown really well. So that is what Premier would have wanted to do in 2 or 3 years' time when the bread growth had probably gone away. They're bringing it in now. Okay. There's synergies, there's costs that you can cut, there's head office that can go away. So you've got a compounding effect on that 20% earnings growth. So to me, it's not overly expensive. This is a synergistic acquisition that will come through. They're using shares, it's earnings enhancing. I see absolutely nothing wrong with it, and I'm more than willing to back management for the next 3 years. I'll basically get this one, put it in the bottom drawer, sleep. In 3 years' time, we'll see earnings at a completely different level and a whole new diversified food business.
Well, another business in that food production sector is AVI. That one has long been on the radar of investors in terms of being a takeover target, and that is AVI. The viewer says it is currently cheap considering the potentially high dividend yield, and of course I'm sure you think so as well, Ricus, as it is your stock pick.
That's part of it. They're also ex-dividend, so the share price has given it back, so I think it's at buyable levels. And it's, with a very decent dividend yield, considering the consistency of their earnings, I'm looking at a price target, but both on a technical basis and fundamentally, of around about 115 rand. So, that's 15-18% potential gain. But more than that, the Premier Food announcement today, they won't be buying Rhodes Food Group if they don't think that that sector in itself is providing value at current prices. So it's not merely an AVI story, I think it's a sector story as well. Food producers are cheap. It looks as if rains are going to be in our favor, so your input costs is not going to be affected by the sudden drought by the looks of things. The sector itself, and I think AVI specifically, and I agree with Roy, Premier Foods, probably at viable levels.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. A very interesting episode today, gents. Really appreciated. That is all for tonight's Stock Watch. Thanks to our guests, Roy Mutooni from Sanlam Investments and Ricus Reeders from PSG Hole in One Ruimsig. Up next, the close.
Stockwatch is brought to you by Merchant West. Where others stop, we push further. Because we believe business as usual doesn't lead anywhere new. Go beyond with Merchant West. Finance, invest, insure.